Sat Shri Akal, welcome back to I'm a Brown Girl. My name's Amma. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about brown people working too hard. There's a few things I want to cover on today's episode, but the main things I want to focus on are the hardworking culture, especially in brown communities, the comparison of work culture across the world, as well as my experience of being unemployed. Being unemployed has been one of the best things that's happened to me. I'm so grateful. And I say that especially as someone who's been brought up with that hardworking mentality as a brown woman. And I want to share some advice on that as well. So the reason this episode came upon me was because over the weekend, I took my mum to a Rahat Fateh Ali Khan concert. My mum has never been to a concert before, which she's almost 50, which is kind of mind-blowing. I'm 25 and I've lost count of the amount of concerts I've been to. And it's not a thing where I'm comparing, but it does shock me to think, wow, live a little bit. Like, this woman has so much to experience, and I'm glad that I can help her with that. But it was really eye-opening to me. For the longest, when me and my brother were born, my mum didn't work for a good 10, 15 years. Like, she was a stay-at-home mum, which is the hardest job in the world, number one. But she only started employment, I think, when I was in my teens, or like I was getting into my teens. I was quite young. My mum's been working for almost 20 years now, and the woman doesn't take breaks. She still wakes up at 6 a.m. for the last however many decades. And I would say it's only been over the past couple of years that she's started to go out a lot more. She's got a new friend circle. She's thriving. She's happy. She's doing a lot more experiences in terms of like concerts, restaurants, days out, day trips, things like that everyone should experience, especially, I think, the older generation, like our parents. Obviously, I can't speak for everyone, but just in terms of how hard I've seen my parents work, I've not seen anyone work harder. And these people have grinded for too long, and it's about time that they actually let loose and have a bit of fun. Hence why I thought of this topic. And I was like, wow, this really needs to be spoken about, because us brown people are way too hardworking. Even with my dad, if I had to explain his routine, this man, I'm sure, has woken up between 4 and 5 a.m. for the last 45 years. I'm glad that with this generation, we're a lot more aware in terms of taking breaks, how to manage burnout. I don't know if work-life balance truly exists. I do think you can find it. It is difficult, but I do think mental health in this generation has taken its toll. I feel that in our parents' generation, it was more survival mode that took a toll on them. I wanted to get the definition of survival mode correct just so that there's clarity. But survival mode is the physiological state where individuals focus on immediate needs and basic survival, often driven by stress and cultural expectations. This mindset can arise from economic pressures, family obligations, and a history of hard work in brown communities. People in survival mode often experience chronic stress, neglect self-care, and may become socially isolated. It can lead to burnout, health issues, and strained relationships as work and survival take precedence over well-being. To escape survival mode, individuals can practice mindfulness, shift their mindset towards balance and fulfillment, seek community support, and set clear work-life boundaries. Ultimately, recognizing and addressing survival mode is crucial for creating healthier and more fulfilling lives. Transforming from mere survival to thriving involves prioritizing joy, self-care, and deeper connections. Reading that was interesting, and if it was a tick box exercise to be like, oh, do my parents fit this? Absolutely. And I'm sure many of you guys listening can think about your parents and be like, wow, do my parents actually take breaks? I would say it's only now that my dad has started taking really good long breaks, especially with being abroad for many months at a time, which I'm so happy for him. But I don't want to continue this cycle of working for 45, 50 years and then feeling like, oh, I need to take a break. So I don't want to work for 45 years and then feel like, oh, wow, maybe I should take some time off because I'm burnt out and I haven't done enough to enjoy life. And I'm not saying that you can't enjoy life when you're older, but I want to enjoy life as much as I can when I'm young, fit and healthy. And I don't know if this is just because I've been solo traveling. So if you have been solo traveling, you might be able to relate on this, but I can't imagine not doing that again and not traveling. I'm already pre-planning some of my future travels a year in advance because I need to experience culture. I need to get out and see what there is in the world. And that's not to say that I don't want a great career, because I really do. I want to put my mind to whatever I decide to pursue. But I feel that when you're brown, you're hardwired to be hardworking. So I know that whatever I put my mind to, I will be extremely hardworking. And to be fair, any job that I've done, regardless of if I've enjoyed it or not, if I've stayed short term or long term, I don't play about when it comes to jobs. I am serious and I get the job done. So that's what I mean. When you're brown, it's just in your blood to work hard. I'm just saying that sometimes, especially in our parents' generation, they need to take a little bit of a break. I also want to speak about the differences of work culture across the world in terms of the West Side and the East Side. Now, I can't speak for the entire East Side of the world, but from my experience of being in Punjab and a little bit in Mumbai as well, I can hands down say that working on that side of the world is way better because people are actually happier. I'm not trying to glamorize it because it is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of early mornings and late nights, but the work culture is completely different there. I think when it comes to comparing Mumbai and Punjab, there is a big difference with those two cities because Mumbai is a lot more business centric. Like that is where you can go to make amazing business and bank. And a lot of business people go there to do exactly that. And there is a lot more hustle culture, a lot more corporate life there. But it's to the point where you can progress and network with great people. And there's not so much of this fakeness. Not to generalize, obviously everyone's workday is going to look different. But for example, someone would possibly wake up at 5, 6 a.m., catch a train into the main city of Mumbai, work from like 7, 8, 9 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. But they'll probably have a 3-4 hour lunch break because that's how you socialize. People do business deals over food, things like that. And I mean, I'm not no expert. I've not actually worked in Mumbai, but just from what I saw and, you know, even speaking to my cousin, like, wow, that's a really long work day, but people are able to socialize and network and take a break over lunchtime, over food. Like Indians love food and that's how we share love. But in the UK, the thought of getting lunch with a colleague, unless I really like them, I'm quite a loner. Like I don't like talking to anyone on my lunch break. I'd rather get lunch alone. But comparing that to the UK, most lunch breaks are unpaid and it's only an hour or 30 minutes at most. I can't remember if I shared this example in my India village experience episode. At my dad's house in India, there were builders working because the house is getting done. And at the time, it was freezing cold, it was raining, like really difficult to work in those conditions. So the builder called in the morning saying, "Hi, I'm not coming into work because of the weather." Absolutely acceptable. A very valid reason. But in the UK, you call in to say that and your manager will probably fire you. And the UK has worse weather, and here we are, still managing to somehow get into work on days where the weather is absolutely awful. But if you actually think about it with a bit of logic, empathy, and humanity, that's a very valid reason to not be able to come into work. Like, wow, people actually use their common sense, and it's a very valid reason to not come in. And the thing is, the builders, after that, when they came, they worked 10 times harder. They got the job done a lot more quicker. And even throughout the day, they will ask for multiple cups of tea. They'll sometimes even ask for a curry to eat for lunchtime, which, yeah, sure, they're going to be working there for almost 12, 13, 14 hours. Absolutely. Like, there is no issue with that. And as nice as it would be to expect that from the work culture in the UK, very unrealistic, never going to happen. People at work in this country are very to themselves, very fake, unfortunately. And I wish that it wasn't. I think it's very naive to walk into a workplace and think that everyone's lovely and kind and empathetic. But people are not. At the end of the day, it's just a job. You do it and you go home. And that is the unfortunate reality. And it's very rare that you can find that one person at work where you can be yourself with and have a friendship outside of work. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. It does happen. But it's very difficult to find on the West Side of the world. Even with my granddad, he's in his 70s or 80s and he still works in India. We call it a chakki. How do you say chakki in English? Chakki in English is like a flour mill. It's within his house, so he just has to go downstairs, which is great, but he has to mill flour. So like he can sell it, but he enjoys his work. He does that all day and there's no issue because people are lovely. He gets to socialize. He gets to move around. He has no problem working. He's happy working. It gives him something to do. But whenever I see old people, like when I say old people, I mean old people still working in this country, it kind of breaks my heart. But I do think like if it's just like a general retail job just to get you out, if it's part-time, that's great because it kind of allows you to socialize and get out a little bit and not sit around all day. But again, I don't think old people should be working that hard at that age. It's just sad that we live in a society where old people have no choice but to work. That takes me on to my next point, which is unemployment. Unemployment as a word is such an ugly word to start with, but I swear it is the best thing to experience. I never thought I would be here a year ago. And I'm so proud to say I'm unemployed. I don't like the word in itself because it has such a negative connotation. But do you know what? I'm so flipping happy that I am. When I was first unemployed, I had traveling to look forward to, so I still wasn't that upset. But when I came back, if you've listened to a few of my last episodes, I did speak about how I felt like, wow, I'm not ready. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I should have my career all set and what am I doing? And the comparison was kicking in. But do you know what? The joy and freedom that you get from unemployment is one of the best things someone can experience. I'm not the kind of person to just lounge around all day. Sure, I've had a few of those days here and there when I've been sick or I just need to get some rest or if the weather's not great. But during this time, I have had the opportunity to sit with myself, to feel my emotions, to do all those little errands that you don't want to get through. Everything I needed to do on my to-do list that I was avoiding is done, and I've done more. And I've used this opportunity of unemployment to reflect and self-care myself to the highest point of self-care. And this is not to say be unemployed and your life is going to get all sorted. But as someone who was working for almost a decade, this is a break I needed. And I wanted to share this because if anyone is unemployed, especially with the job market being so brutal, it's very disheartening at times when you've applied for jobs, when you've gone to interviews and you think you're going to get it and then you don't. It's very disheartening. But I promise you, you will get that job. It will come for you. Whatever is yours is already yours, so I wouldn't even worry about it. But if you are going through a hard time, number one, stop comparing. You're doing great. Stop being hard on yourself. Use this time to do all the things you wish you could do when you was employed. Also use this time to brush up on any skills or like courses that you want to do. And I don't want to sound like some positive guru just being like, oh my God, you're going to be fine. Just chill. Da, da, da. Please use a few days to just rot and do nothing. For anyone who is going through the blues of unemployment, I just want to tell you that this is a blessing and you will not be unemployed forever. I hope you find something that gives you purpose and that doesn't always have to be through employment. Employment isn't something that should define you. If anything, use this time to take yourself out on a solo date, go to the park, go to the gym, start that project that you've been wanting to start for ages. It's basically like lockdown without the rules of lockdown. This is a blessing. It's just the perspective you have on it. So honestly, you're going to be more than fine and you're doing great. Just stop being hard on yourself. I wish someone could have said that to me at the start. So to conclude on today's episode, we've covered talking about how the older generation, especially our parents' generation, don't take enough breaks. I have seen my parents work for many decades, really hard work, lack of sleep, extreme stress, having a lot of financial pressure. And it's only now that they are taking the time to enjoy their life. The concept of survival mode does take a toll. So regardless of your age, please do not think that work is everything, that career is everything. Yes, it's important to have a career that you're passionate about if that's what you want, but it's equally as important to enjoy life. And that doesn't have to be massive holidays and a massive purchase. It can be found in the smallest of joys, and that is dependent on what joy looks like for you. For me personally, it will always be having my journal, a good book, coffee or like a nice drink at a park, speaking to no one, nice view, Greenwich Park specifically, and just seeing the sunset throughout the day. We also compared the work cultures of the West and the East side of the world. Definitely prefer the East. I would not be surprised if I end up settling in India and having a career there. I would love nothing more. I'd be happy to work as a farmer. I really wouldn't mind it. If it means I get unlimited jar, I get to eat whenever I want, I get to socialize and take care of animals, sure. I don't even like animals that much, but yeah, sure. For a job like that, I would do it. And then lastly, I spoke about unemployment and how if you are going through the blues of unemployment, please don't be hard on yourself. This is a blessing and you should enjoy it. For anyone listening, if you've made it this far, firstly, thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. I would encourage you to reflect on your own work-life balance and even looking at your parents or some of your relatives and seeing how the older generation work. If you've got any stories, please feel free to DM me and share your stories. I love hearing about them. Another thing I never actually say on my episodes, I always say to like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. But I don't think you understand how much it really helps. So if you have got a second, please go and subscribe, share with all your family, friends, whatever. It does make a huge difference and it allows me to continue creating. And I do hope to expand this podcast and make it something even bigger, having more of a budget to bring on guests and make sure I always continue doing this work because I love it. I feel very passionate about what I do. I've always said right from the first episode, I don't care if one person listens. I just hope it helps. I was watching a video from one of my favorite creators. His name's Moyo. And he was saying how if social media or creating content is what you want to do, you can't do it for the money. I don't do this for the money or the views or anything like that. I just do it because I'm passionate about it. And I actually really enjoy editing. I said at the start, I wanted to teach myself how to edit. I wanted to teach myself how to use a camera, basic equipment, and now I'm here. So thank you to anyone who has supported me or liked, shared anything or engaged in any way, even liking a story. That does a lot for me. So thank you. In terms of an end of episode check-in, I am thriving, guys. The sun is out. I feel like every British person has to say that once a day. The sun is out. I cannot complain. The sun being out for me is huge. When the time changes in the year, like that day specifically is really special to me. It's on par with my birthday. Like that day is very special to me because it's like the end of suffering. Over the past week, I was on my period, so I was feeling a little bit down. I was in that kind of comparing myself to others kind of mode and just thinking I'm not doing great. And then once I was done with my period, I woke up and I was like, nah, sod that. I'm doing fabulous. This time during unemployment has allowed me to spend quality time with my family. I've never had that before. I've spent a lot of time with my friends. I do a lot more in terms of feeling connected to the people I love. I didn't have a single weekend off in my last employment, even though in the interview they were like, yeah, you'll get weekends off. No, I didn't have a single weekend off unless I was on annual leave. I never got to see any of my family or friends. It was really hard to socialize. I didn't have energy to go out. But during this time now, I have so much time and I've used it really well. So I'm really happy for myself. And I would encourage anyone who has unemployment time on their hands to make the most of it. My spirits are high. I feel good. Today's Monday, which means now that I'm recording, I need to also edit. I need to get better at pre-recording these episodes. I've just been so busy. You'd think I have all this time in my hands that I'm free, but I'm actually not. I've got stuff to do. So yes, in terms of my check-in, I'm doing really well. I'm really happy. And the one thing I can say, in memory of missing Vietnam so much, I thought, let me wear my Vietnam top. If you are watching, you can see it's red and yellow, and I absolutely love it. So I really hope that I use this moment as manifestation to be like, please God, take me back to Vietnam. I don't know how this is going to happen. I really need to get back there. I really miss it. I really miss traveling and I can't wait to get that in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If there's anything more you want to hear about in terms of Desi culture, my life, there's something more you want to know, please drop me a DM. I love hearing your stories. When I get random DMs of people just telling me the things they're going through, and at times it's really heavy and it's really heartbreaking. I feel so honored that people feel safe and comfortable to message me, a stranger, about their life. And I can only continue to thank you and send you my well wishes. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are healing. I hope you guys are enjoying this sun if you live in the UK. And on that note, it's the end of today's episode. I thank you so much for watching. I thank you so much for listening. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Sat Shri Akal. Bye.